So Bisharp, I actually really like Bisharp with his typing. Dark Steel is really good, but like my biggest weakness with the reason I don't really use him like that is simply because of the fact that he has a 4 times weakness to fighting, and he's weak to ground and fire. So it's like kind of sucks because ground is very common and fighting is decently common, and so is fire. So it kind of sucks with his weaknesses. He's immune to poison and psychic though, which is it's pretty good, and he has a ton of resistance. Pretty much everything that isn't. He resists a lot. Let's just put it that way. He also has good attack and good defense. Like 65 and 70 is not great, but 100 defense is good enough to make it work. Also, his ability Defiant is really good. That's probably my favorite thing about him is Defiant. Inner Focus is okay. I wouldn't really use it. It's not really great on him. I mean, it won't hurt. I mean, it's not terrible on him, but I think Defiant's just way better. And Pressure is just, Pressure won't really make a difference most of the time. But 125 attack, 70 speed is also decent. He hits hard, but he's just kind of slow. That's the only thing that kind of holds him. He's slow with. If he had more health, I think it'd be way better. But he has a ton of resistances, and if you get a resistance, you're set. This is one way to run him, which is Assault Vest and just all attacks with Adamant Nature, just to try to eat a hit and knock them out. Like either survive a hit and one-shot them, or survive a hit and Sucker Punch them with priority. Sucker Punch them, which has priority, and just KO them. With Sucker Punch, like Sucker Punch is good too. Like 70 attack and 120, 70 power and 120 attack is really good. Plus he pushed the coverage with Iron Head, Poison Jab, and Psycho Cut. As long as you're not against like a fighting, as long as you're not hit with like a fighting move, you should survive. As long as you're not get hit with a super effective move, you should survive. And he has a ton of like resistances and stuff, so it's certain scenario, especially if you go against someone who's special or physical attacker that doesn't get like Earthquake or a fighting move, you should be fine, and he'll do a lot of that, and you should be able to 2-shot them if not 1-shot. But that's one way. There's also this, which I actually like. It's really good. You could also run, I think you need Sucker Punch though for this one, just for the priority, because if you get out, if they hit you just twice and you faint, that defeats the purpose. But I do like this one too, Rock Polish, to get to double your speed. And at 230 thing, you outspeed Dragon Ball at this point. Like I think you have to go. Like at first I was gonna say health and defense, health and attack, and just get the speed, but you kind of need I was gonna say health and attack plus Rock Polish, but you need the speed to outspeed like Dragapult. Dragapult's not that big of a threat to you because he can't really, unless it's special Dragapult with like Flamethrower, he's not that much of a threat. But Barraskewda and them could be threats because they learn Earth Power, especially Barraskewda because he learns Close Combat. But with the max speed, you outspeed Dragapult. I think even with the speedy nature, 421, even with the speedy nature, you outspeed the Dragapult. So as long as it's not, I would stay away from Swift Swim Barraskewda. That's a problem. But other than that, you outspeed, and then you could either knock off just to do the damage and like the good coverage. I would say Cycle Cut, so you outspeed and you could one-shot fighting types. You could also Dynamax with this. It's also a really good Dynamax, especially if you don't get a hit or they set up or whatever. This would be a really good Dynamax, especially with Psycho Cut, and you get the Psychic Terrain, which gets sort of priority, so you don't have to worry about any priority. So once you get lower in health with the Life Orb, I think Iron Head raises defense and this lowers special defense. So these two don't really matter. Knockoff really is not that good. Dynamax. If you're gonna Dynamax, I would probably run Throat Chop. Yeah, Throat Chop, which is a better option. I like Knockoff better because if you knock off an item, you're doing more damage than Throat Chop. But Throat Chop, they can't use sound moves. But that's one way to run them. Some of the other moves, Brick Break, just for fighting. Throat Chop, they can't use sound moves, and it does more damage than Knockoff if they don't have an item, but they will most of the time. Night Slash just has a high crit chance. Stone Edge is good. You could also run Stone Edge if you're going to Dynamax him, but it has the accuracy, and kind of if you miss, you're kind of getting destroyed. So that kind of sucks. He also learns like Low Kick, but I wouldn't really recommend Low Kick that much. X-Scissor is actually really good. If you don't want to run Poison Jab on like this one, I would use X-Scissor because it's actually really good. Just good other move. Or you could run like Stone Edge, but also good damage, 100% accuracy. Shadow Claw, Dark and Ghost cover pretty much the same typings, other than like fighting and normal. They pretty much do the same thing. The fact that normal or fighting versus Dark and Ghost can't hit normal, they pretty much do the same thing. Dual Chop, if you just want to take out dragons, it's not really that good otherwise. 90 actually. I mean, it still does 80 damage and it gets through sashes and stuff, but it's not that good. Also Guillotine, if you want to run the 1-hit KO move. Also, you could run aerial ace for dynamax just to get the speed. Wouldn't really recommend it. Also, he learns assurance and revenge. I mean, they could be decent because it'll do 120 if you get hit, but that's like a 1-turn thing. It's not great. I mean, it's not terrible, but at the same time, it's not really that good. I think, isn't there a... But yeah, that's pretty much Dragon Ball. You could also run Choice Scarf. But you'd have to run... I would rather run Rock Polish, because Choice Scarf to me is not worth it. Same with Band, because you're kind of slow, so it doesn't really matter as much. Berries. You could also run a berry instead of like Assault Vest here, and like run... You could also, with the berry, if you don't want to run Life Orb, run like Psychic. I mean, you could also run the berries and Rock Polish, but he also learned some like good status moves in Thunder Wave and Toxic. If you want to run like a bulkier Bisharp, you could run like only thing with running like Thunder Wave and Toxic on a bulkier and Taunt on like a bulkier one is just you can't run Assault Vest, so a special hit really blows you up. But that's how to use Dragon Ball. I think he's good. I like it, especially if you can get. Also, he learns Swords Dance, but like I don't think Swords Dance, again, he's too slow to make use of Swords Dance unless you're gonna just straight Sucker Punch, or unless you can Swords Dance with a lot of health and get in Dynamax. But Defiance is really good, especially if you can switch in on like an Intimidate or something, or especially they have Sticky Webs or anything that lowers stats. Especially if they use something that, if you switch out and they like try to lower a special attack and he gets a Defiant, he'll be really good. But that's how to use Bisharp.